Hey, welcome to Prime Stream. We're about to go on a pretty wild journey. We're going to explore this invisible architecture that connects, well, everything, from the biggest things in the cosmos right down to our own thoughts. You ready? Let's dive in.
Seriously, just take a second with that. That's not some poetic line, it's a scientific fact. It means there's a literal physical tether connecting you, sitting there right now, to this unbelievably violent explosion that happened billions of years ago. Wild, right?
And here's how that journey actually happened. Picture this, a gigantic ancient star. It just collapses in on itself. Then, boom, a supernova. It flings all these brand new elements out into the void. That stardust, that cosmic debris, it drifts for eons until gravity pulls it together into planets. Our planet. And that exact same iron from that explosion, it's literally in your bloodstream as we speak, carrying oxygen around your body. The connection isn't a metaphor, folks. It's real.
So that brings us to a really core idea here. We have this tendency to think of human history as its own little bubble, right? Like it started when we picked up the first tool or started talking. But the truth, the real truth, is that our story never started. It just continued. It's just the next chapter in the universe's story.
Okay, think about the Big Bang for a sec. All that energy that kicked everything off, it didn't just vanish, it changed. It became stars, it became planets, and eventually it became the super complex wiring inside your brain. So what does that mean? It means that little spark of an idea you get, that feeling of creativity, that is literally the universe's leftover heat just reorganized into a thought.
So when you see an artist creating a masterpiece or an engineer designing a bridge, they're not fighting against the laws of physics. They're the ultimate expression of those laws. I mean, the signals firing in their brain follow the same basic rules as the plasma boiling inside a star. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. All of human creation? It's just physics waking up and looking at itself.
All right, so if we're basically the universe expressing itself, you'd expect to see some of the same patterns, right? Well, it turns out the universe is kind of lazy in the best way possible. It finds a design that works, a blueprint, and it just reuses it over and over and again on every possible scale.
For example, just look at a river delta from high above. See how it has that complex branching pattern? That's just water finding the path of least resistance to the ocean. Pretty right?
Okay, hold that image in your mind. Now we're going to zoom way, way in, down to the microscopic level. We're looking at a single neuron from a human brain. Look familiar? It's that same branching pattern. The similarity is just, it's uncanny.
So what you're seeing here are two totally different things, a giant river system and a teeny tiny brain cell, and they both landed on the exact same design. There's a name for it, fractal efficiency. It's just the absolute best way to spread something out, whether it's water or information, using the least amount of energy possible. Nature is smart. It doesn't reinvent the wheel. It just uses the same amazing blueprint again and again.
And once you start looking, you see this pattern repetition everywhere. You've got the Fibonacci sequence. It's in the spiral of a galaxy and in the seeds of a sunflower. Same math. It's even in things we think we invented, like the syntax of computer code or the meter of ancient poetry. These aren't things we created out of thin air. They're discoveries of a logic that was already baked into the universe.
Okay, so if these universal rules shape stars and brain cells, what about something bigger? What about us, our societies? You bet they do. Let's try looking at the rise and fall of entire empires. But forget politics for a minute. Let's look at it through the lens of pure physics.
To do that, we got to start with one really important rule, the second law of thermodynamics. It sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. On its own, everything in the universe trends towards chaos, disorder. Things break down, they fall apart. That's the default setting for everything.
So that leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? If the universe is always trying to fall apart, how in the world do we get these incredibly complex, orderly things like a living cell, or a bustling city, or, well, us?
The answer is one word, energy. By grabbing and using energy, we can fight back against the chaos and create these little pockets of order. I mean, think about it. What is all of human progress? It's really just the story of us getting better and better at capturing energy. From the first fire, to farming, to the Industrial Revolution, every single leap was about finding a new way to harness power. We're basically masters at creating temporary order in a chaotic universe.
And you know what? This also explains why civilizations fall. Yeah, bad leaders and wars are part of it, but the deep reason?
It's physics. An empire collapses when it can't get enough energy to support how complex it's become. It hits a wall, waste builds up, and entropy, that tendency towards chaos, just takes over again. It's the second law of thermodynamics playing out with kings and castles.
Okay, we've gone from stars to our own blood. We've connected rivers to our brains. We've even linked physics to the fall of empires. Now it's time to bring it all home with one final and honestly kind of mind-bending idea.
See, you're not just a spectator, you're not just living in the universe, watching it all go by from the sidelines. You are the universe, just in a very specific, very temporary configuration. You're the universe experiencing itself.
The same rules that hold galaxies together are the ones firing off the thoughts in your head right now. The atoms in your hand, they came from the same cosmic forge as the planets. There is no real separation between you and everything else out there. The only difference is scale.
And that right there, that's the whole point. Once you see the world like that, it kind of changes everything, doesn't it? This isn't just about sharing cool facts. This is about offering a totally new perspective. And that is exactly why PrimeStream exists. We want to be the lens that helps you see this invisible architecture. We want to show you how science and history and even art are all just different threads in the same single amazing story. Because, we really believe that seeing the world differently is the first step to making a difference in it. So if any of this resonated with you, if you felt that spark, then please follow and share PrimeStream. Let's keep exploring this incredible universe together.